Am I in focus on either of them? These are designed for vlogging, right? You should know by now which is GoPro colors and which is DJI. DJI? Could you tell? I gotta believe the dynamic range. That's a GoPro victory right there. Not so fast with the victory there, GoPro. It seems that the DJI retains more of the shadow detail, whereas GoPro goes for the highlights. Therefore, we'll never know who has more dynamic range until Gerald Undone lends me his xylophone.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So I've made several videos with both of these. I've written down a bunch of quirks that I've noticed I would like improved upon the next version, but first we just have to get this out of the way. These are not designed for vloggers. Vloggers are the lowest scum of the earth. Nobody caters to them. We have to decipher our own means. We're looking at mirrorless cameras, camcorders, smartphones, action cams. What can we use? Because nothing is designed to walk down your neighborhood like a lunatic. And it's really annoying. I would argue the Pocket is their vlogging camera, but I don't love the gimbal thing. I prefer this little Action. So full disclaimer, and then we'll test a bunch of stuff. GoPro was a gift from Ian Corzine, everybody's favorite YouTube lawyer. Thank you so much, Ian Corzine. And the DJI, a gift from Aiden Camera. I went down there thinking I was just gonna review it, and he's like, you know what? Don't even give that back. He somehow convinced DJI to let me keep it. Thank you so much. So that doesn't make me biased. I'm going to rip these cameras apart with my mouth. Okay, so first thing that annoys me, out here I might appear to be in focus on either of them, but not close, not really. Handheld is ideally what you want, a pocketable device that you're holding in your hand, and then you just put it in your pocket and move on with your life, and you see something exciting, you pull it back out and you're going. So like, I'm not in focus and I have to resort to weird, that looks dirty, strategies like that with like a close-up focusing filter, and you get some fake tone. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. If I did that to you, are you seeing things that benefit your life right now? I do believe you do. You're seeing something. Oh my God, there's a bee on my hand. Oh, help. So, send help. Oh my God, he's on my face. Do you see how much that helps the closest focusing? Like, one looks out of focus, the other looks terrible because it has a cheap ass filter on it. I get it. I'll move on. Okay, so as you can see, neither are in focus at this point. You need that close-up focusing filter, which adds like weird blurry sides. Like, it's not a good thing. So hopefully one of you guys will make a lens that's focused within like 1 foot minimum, like right there, in focus here. Vlogging version for people with arms. We don't have skateboards. There's no skateboards here. We don't want action cams to vlog with, but that's all we got. Low light scenario achieved. Who's handling life? Complete darkness. I'm entering a foresty area. There's a lot of loud trucks happening. One of you is better. DJI is supposed to be better. It has the bigger sensor. GoPro just said, oh, we're taller now, but nobody likes tall people unless they're helping you get things off high shelves that you can't reach. Tall people are stupid. Unbelievable low light performance. So we're in 5.3K on the GoPro because that's its max res, and I find it looks the best in that mode. Flat profile. And on the DJI, what the hell is that? Oh, a bunch of kids are walking behind me. We're in 4K 48 frames per second. Just because I can talk really fast and slow it down afterwards, you don't even know the difference. That's the thing I like to do. We're on the widest possible lens for both, by the way. I took stabe off everything. This is as wide as it gets for the GoPro and for the DJI. both way too wide, but had nothing to do with anything. So when it comes to the colors, I'm preferring the DJI colors. Like black looks black, whereas many times on the GoPro, that shirt looks purple. Really annoying. And the old DJI Action 1 used to make that sweater red. DJI, better colors. All right, we're in 24 frames per second now on the DJI, just because one of you jabronis is like, oh, the 48 frames is crippled, bro. You should have been on 24p for fun. All right, I made notes. Yes, I did forget them at home, but I remember some of them. Let's just distract them with a slow motion example. 4K 120p. I wasn't seeing much of a difference at all between 4K 120p. They both look decent, both good stabe. I'm gonna intersperse some of these complaints I had, since I did actually forget my notes at home. The first complaint I have is DJI still does the little 4-minute files, 3.56 gigs, and then it splits them into multiple things. GoPro finally fixed it. So I did a little 8-minute clip and it was all one file, so I bet that's unlimited now. Don't quote me on that, but it's at least longer, and I like that. The problem with the DJI is when it splits those files, sometimes the audio is not seamless. So it's just like you hear a little background noise, it cuts like it's one frame is missing or something. So that's really annoying. And to go along with the files, DJI allows you to custom name your files now. And when I got them out of the computer, I was like, no, that's not what I wanted. Like, it's just a tiny thing at the end. Look how long these file names are. It's like 15 letters and numbers long, and then your little code at the end, which doesn't change. That ain't right. So like the Fuji X-H2S lets you do that as well, but it's actually usable. You just say case 001. And now all my files look so simple and great. I should have just named it X-H2S, that would have been better. Also, both cameras give us these extra useless files as far as I know. Like there's the video file and then 2 extra things. I don't know what they are, and it's really annoying to see them there, and I have to organize file by type and then highlight only my video files and delete all the rest. I don't know what those are. Stop it. No other camera does it. So those are my pet peeves for file related issues. So right now we're in linear on the GoPro and standard de-warp, which is as far as you can punch in on the DJI. It looks like the DJI is a little wider, quite a bit wider, and it could be interesting. It's a super wide lens. Be nice if I was in focus, but let's switch on out to the ultimate wide. Just wow. Just wow. Oh boy. It looks like they're similar, quite similar, and this is my first complaint, is these lenses being so ridiculously wide that, like, no matter what, to get a vlogging perspective, you kind of want something like, wow, I can't even get close enough to show you what I would rather have. Something like that. We're talking like 18 mil, roughly, whereas this is a 12 mil on both. That's a problem. I mean, it's kind of funny being so wide, it's ridiculous. You get the microphone in the shot, even though it's on another camera, like 15 feet away. That's a bit of a weirdness. And then switching to the GoPro, yeah, okay. It's just, we don't need this wide. If I was in focus at right here distance, then I'd be like, yeah, okay, make it that wide. I could have fun with this. Now, one glitch I noticed, I made a video on my other channel with the DJI. I switched into this ultra wide mode and then the audio was unusable. It had robot voice. I was like, what happened there? Okay, we've been on D-Cine-like profile in the DJI the whole time. That's happened in every video I've made so far, and that's a deal-breaking flaw if that's not fixed soon, because you never know which clip is going to be completely unusable. That's terrible. I don't know why it happened. Something with the USB-C mic, which we'll get to. GoPro would never do that to you. So that's the first complaint I have about the DJI, is that, you know, the Sonova mic adapter that used to work, that does not work anymore. And it's only USB-C mics now. So, like, I'm using this Sennheiser MKE 200. It came with a USB-C attachment, so that's cool. But, like, everybody has 3.5 mil mics, and they're no longer able to be used. I'm sure there's going to be an adapter, but right now there was no adapter in the box. And so, like, you're forced to use USB-C mics, which not a lot of people have. And that's annoying. Whereas GoPro, you're forced to buy a huge mic jack thing, or the media mod, but then at least you can use the mics you own already. Okay, we've been on D-Cine-like profile in the DJI the whole time, and the GoPro has been in its flat profile. I think they're both nice. I think I prefer the GoPro flatness. Feels like there's more dynamic range, but now we're in normal colors and freak boy colors. Natural on the GoPro is not natural at all, whereas this is somewhat natural. It looks nice on the screen. It's just, I find the over sharpness, you can tweak it in the GoPro. You can lower the sharpness. That's nice, and the flat looks fine. Like, I'm happy with this look. Whereas the DJI, you can't touch sharpness at all, I don't think. I haven't found it. I would like to be able to have a flat, nice log type of thing I can edit later, and it's not gonna look like a cheap action cam. I find we still have that cheap action cam look on the DJI. That's when it's in focus, which is never. I doubt even out there. See, that's the thing, like, this has a bigger sensor now, but the lens is not taking advantage of it. A vlogger would like a slight amount of separation. You don't have to blur the background to oblivion, but it's nice to have a slight pop effect. And so, like, your goal should be like a f5.6 full frame equiv type of thing. Like, give me something. Whereas right now it's the opposite effect. I'm the blurry one and the background's over sharpened. That hurts. If you're wondering how I got back across the street that I crossed for no reason in the beginning, I managed to do it in 240 frames. DJI 3 has the worst 240p, almost as bad as the Fuji X-H2S. I can't believe how soft it is. I know it's 1080p versus 2.7K on the GoPro, but they took a step back. Wait till you see it versus the DJI Action in this video. I was shocked. I was like, did I get the files right? So that is super disappointing. I'm waiting for like 1080p 480 frames per second that looks like 4K. We're so far away from that goal, I feel. Like, the 1080p 240p is just getting worse and worse in every generation, and each camera drives me mad. That brings us to a random complaint. This case that comes with the DJI, I don't see the point of it. You put it on, it has no, like, tripod screw thing, it has no hot shoe mount, it blocks the battery door and SD card. Why is this here? You could have done so much more. One day, Small Rig will make a nice cage and then we can put the filters on. You need a close focusing filter. This case screams, I'm an action cam, don't vlog with me ever. And we're trying to use these things that aren't designed for us, and I'm reviewing it, and DJI's like, we didn't make it to vlog with. What is he doing? Why did you give him this camera? I get it. So send me your Pocket 4, or whatever, 3? Then we'll see. Make some changes. One sensor in there. At least. Micro Four Thirds. If you can fit an APS-C on that little gimbal. I don't mind it. Okay, now I have turned on boost of the Stabe in the GoPro, and we've done horizon leveling for both. And I do believe DJI can't go the full way. At some point, when you want to hold your hand out like a gangster would hold a gun sideways, at some point, you're gonna not be able to do that on the DJI, unfortunately. So this is good. I'm so happy to have this feature. It's such a useful item. If you're reviewing, say, like mouse wheels, human mouse wheels, those exist. It's a thing some couples get into in their later years. Just get the GoPro for that. Now, if you were to do an angry dad walking test and you're just mad at your son because he didn't finish his homework and his bed wasn't made, you could easily make the bed. We bought you those special sheets, you piece of... Now, one area where the DJI is just not able to compete is having open gate mode for full body vertical vlogging. I'm disappointed not to have that on the DJI. I just noticed that DJI can do this. It's a 4:3 ratio in 4K 24p. Similar, if not better. Not quite as wide, but not bad. So if you did want to vertical vlog as a step counting vlog, you could on the DJI or the GoPro. Thank you. This is growing on me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am not gonna lie. Just vertical vlogs is the future. You stay in one line, just don't go out of your lane. It's very behavior tutorial type vlogging. It's just, this is how you're proper. Stay here, and this is the future. We are suppressed by the gods. I'm curious if I now alter it to stretch it out to like a normal 16:9 frame in this mode. Is it good enough? Are there any advantages now just next to regular 16:9? Are you seeing something worth believing in? I don't know, man. One thing that might annoy you, it's annoyed me so far, is you can easily switch between custom modes on the DJI. You press a button and it's like, boom, do you want that one or this one or that one? It has a really nice front screen, but when you do that, nothing shows up. You're guessing, and then it switches into the thing, but you're like, oh, I didn't know which one. So you have to use your wrist. That's an injury waiting to happen. Also, the custom modes don't auto update. If you ever change one setting, it's like, oh, sorry, we're gone now. We're back to the one. We should have that option to either update it continuously as you change something or keep it always that one custom thing. We do have 10-bit on the GoPro, only in the slowest frame rates, 24p, maybe 30, maybe 60, I don't know, but it's not in 4K 120 or the HD 240 frames. And DJI is going to bring 10-bit in a firmware, but I feel like they'll have the same limitations, not in 4K 120p though. I don't know. So I think that was a pretty devastating move to leave that out of launch. Like, you know, GoPro, I think they found out at the last second that GoPro had 10-bit and they're like, we're having that too. We can do that, right, engineers? You game on that one? It's just 2 more bits. Does anybody have 2 bits in a drawer somewhere? I don't know that they're even capable of it. I'm not seeing any difference from the 10 to the 11, 10-bit versus 8-bit. It didn't hold up to my demon LUT. How about an avatar LUT? Could you handle that, GoPro? I don't know if you need to swing things, but who's like color grading action cam footage to the max? Like putting a mask on the skin tones and the shadows are lifted, a little blue in the hints. Get a life. Who does the best 1080p? Just a little humble 1080p, 24p. Don't forget about us people who still use that sometimes. Is there a mosquito? It's cold out here. How did you survive? Oh, that is itchy and just wrong. Okay, DJI Action 1 versus 3. Skipping a couple generations. Are we seeing a difference now? Goodbye, GoPro. Hello, world. We doing good on stuff? Are either of them in focus? Can you see it? It's like, oh wow, what a difference. I'm getting that through his affiliate links, that's for sure. DJI Action 3 on your right. Boom, 1 on the left. We're both in identical settings with the D-Warp on, 4K 24p, D-Cine-like colors. If it's not a huge improvement, I will be a little devastated. It's a bigger sensor, not 10-bit yet, but interesting. Any dynamic range difference? They look identical. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, let's just test the slow-mo quick and then I leave. It seems like the DJI Action 1 is like sharper, has a better lens, almost everything about it except the colors are just that nasty, like glowing red face. I don't know what was happening there. So the Action 3 improved quite a bit on the colors. The Action 1 with the red shirts and weirdness, like radiation. But like, man, it's like, what were the improvements? The 4K 120p in the Action 3 is definitely better than Action 1's 1080p 120p, so that's cool, but the 240 is worse. I don't get it. I don't get anything. And if you're curious, we're now on the widest for both. Much wider now on the Action 3 with its ultra wide. That's just like D-Warp off and on is all you can do, which crops in a bit if it's on, so it's off. It's not that wide, but I prefer that. It's the better lens. That's the real truth. The truth is real. Okay, final conclusion if you're wondering which to buy through my affiliate links. Action 3, GoPro 11. I lean very heavily to the GoPro 11 right now. I prefer the look except for the colors. I like the colors in here and then everything else in the GoPro. It seems more reliable. I've had an issue with the audio on this, so I don't know when that's gonna happen. And also, one time I did a little side-by-side. This stopped recording after like 7 seconds, and then it just stopped for no reason. Nothing, like the camera was still on. Like it was like tired or something. It was like, I can't do that. You're asking me to horizon level with the wide angle? Come on, you know I can't do that. Believe in yourself, DJI. The way I look at it, the Action 1 was like the Hero 7. They came out roughly the same time, and then GoPro did a bunch of 8, 9, 10, 11, and then we got one upgrade. The 2 doesn't count. The Action 2 was a completely different thing, modular. It wasn't the same thing. I don't know what that was. I didn't like it at all. And so this is what I've been waiting for. I feel like it's not really enough of an upgrade. Like some things look worse. I love what they did with the color science. That's about it. It's like I went from a simple mic adapter that could use any mic to now I need a USB-C mic of some sort. Like what brands are even doing that? No professional ones. And there's just so many quirks. I love that there's stabilization now in the 240 frames per second, but it looks so much worse than the Action 1 without stab. I'd rather have that. So a lot of downgrades and just unreliability now with the audio. So I don't know, I wouldn't buy it. If I had to keep any, GoPro 11 and 10 or DJI Action 3 and the 1, I think I would go for GoPro 11 and get rid of everything else because that can record longer files now. We got 10-bit in one mode and better dynamic range. It's decent enough. So those are my conclusions. Thank you everybody who contributed to this episode, and I'm sorry for letting you down. I told you I would find the flaws in your camera. That's what I do. Thank you for buying all of these through my affiliate links. They are worthy of Christmas gifts for you and your family. I'll go.